I've been thinking about fear this morning, and I got 2 comments from the last video saying that fear doesn't originate from the body, which in a way, that's correct. Okay, let me explain what I meant by that. When I said fear originates from the body, what I mean to say is fear is amplified through the body, through the survival mechanisms of the body. Yes, fear can start with a belief, but being in a body, the body amplifies that distortion. Because fear itself is a perceptual entrapment. We are under a very heavy hypnosis here. Our perceptions are manipulated, our beliefs are false, and fear itself is a control mechanism of our perception. Fear can only exist when you don't have connection to who you truly are, which is an infinite consciousness. Now, in this hypnotic state, fear rules everything. And the imagination can bring fear to you as well. And the body amplifies that. The body actually keeps fear within it. It amplifies it. Even when you know perceptually there's nothing to fear, you can't tell that to your body. Your heart will start racing. Your body will start shaking. All of these things overpower your sovereignty, so to say. This is a world that does not respect sovereignty. This is a world that only wants to enslave you. And how does it enslave you? Through fear. That's its number one weapon against you, because it's hoping that you don't recognize who and what you actually are outside of this hypnotic, nightmarish realm. If you carry the beliefs and the conditioning of being a human outside of here, your beliefs are going to reflect who you think you are. So once you're out of here, those beliefs of, I'm still a human. Fear is taken over me. There's nothing I can do about this. I'm going to be harmed. I'm going to lose something. I'm going to be fill in the blank. When you're brought into this world, your first breath of the fresh air, basically, was breathing in fear. Being born here is a very traumatic experience, which then conditions you instantly into fear. You're helpless. There's nothing you can do. You're in a body full of pain. You're also experiencing the emotional trauma from your mom, because you're still connected to her. So it's a very traumatic thing, and that trauma bonds you to this experience, to this identity. And throughout your whole life, you've been conditioned to think of yourself as powerless, to think of yourself as having no sovereignty, basically, having no free will, because in this world you don't have free will, and that's the perceptual trap. And your body also conditions you through the fear feeling the hormones, the chemicals, the body reactions. So the belief in the body solidifies the fear as being real. And you believe what you see. You believe the reactions of a sadistically twisted world. The opposite of fear, I don't know if it's the opposite, but having courage in the face of fear. I don't see how fear has any spiritual value other than making you a slave, other than diluting your perception that you have to succumb to the reactions of a fallen world, of a fallen vessel, of a false identity. Now, I'm not trying to gaslight anyone and saying you shouldn't have any fear. No, I'm fearful all the time because I'm in this body. It's just my body reacting. I have certain triggers from long ago that bring up fear. I still have PTSD from things that have happened to me. And let me tell you, you can know with all rationality and logic that there's nothing to be afraid of, yet your body does not care. Your body is reacting. Your body is its own entity. Now you can breathe and try to calm yourself down, but you're pretty much at the mercy of when your body decides it's over. And another thing, so I have this severe reaction to smoking weed. My body goes into PTSD mode. And I can use all rationale and logic to say, hey, why are you reacting this way? There's nothing going on. I am safe. This is just a reaction of the body. The body doesn't care. You're in it for the ride, basically. So you're actually held hostage to the body, to its triggers, to its reactions, to its survival mechanism. Now, something like ayahuasca, I'd experienced when I was in Peru. I was doing ayahuasca. During one ceremony, I felt completely sober. Completely. I didn't feel like it was working at all. I felt clear-headed. There was no fear. There was no emotional reaction or bodily reaction. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, I guess it didn't work. And then I'm looking out into the jungle and I see this bright light coming through the trees. And I'm thinking, oh, there's someone with a headlight coming through the forest out there. I wonder who that is. And it got brighter and brighter until I realized the light was floating above the trees. And I was like, wait a second, what? And then I started seeing all these other orbs of light coming from the forest and surrounding our little tambo, as they call it, and then entering in. And I am as sober, calm, rational, no fear whatsoever. Why? Why was I able to be like that? It's because my body wasn't forcing me into submission and fear and PTSD. When in the other scenario, when I was smoking weed, my body forced me into a panic state, even though logically and rationally there was nothing to fear, and I wasn't afraid. I was just a passenger along for the ride until my body decided it was done pumping out all of the fear hormones and chemicals and reactions. Now, in an out-of-body state, if you start to feel fear, but you consciously say, I'm overriding this fear because there is nothing to fear. Fear does not serve me in the face of adversity. Even if you're in the face of adversity, fear doesn't do anything for me other than it's just a program to get you to react, to take away your sovereign will, to get you into a state of fear and helplessness, and I have to react, not respond. How do I consciously want to respond to the situation that's in front of me? That's why it's important to break out of the conditioned hypnosis that they've put us all under. I know from within me, that has nothing to do with this false reality, that fear is their biggest weapon. And a lot of the times in this life, we can't really escape it because we're bound and gagged spiritually and forced to have to coexist with this body that has needs and desires and survival mechanisms, and that forces us to comply. But once you're out of their false perception reality, you don't have to hold that belief anymore. Let's just say you're being tortured and you have the courage within to say, I know this is wrong and I refuse to be in fear. Even if I absolutely have no power, I can consciously choose not to be afraid. Now, what takes that away from you? What takes that away from you is harm, is pain, is survival. Those things, pain itself, overrides your conscious perception to remain calm. Because guess what? It forces you out of that because it's so horrendously painful. And that's why people disassociate. If the trauma is too much for a sustained period of time, they disassociate. Why do they disassociate? So they disassociate. First of all, I think that this body was designed. So if the pain becomes too much, you disassociate so that they can further manipulate and program you at a subconscious level. But the conscious level that disassociated, guess what? It's not experiencing that anymore. It's free of that. Now, if you can disassociate from the pain and keep that intention, that perception, that I don't care how big and bad you think you are or what you're going to forcibly put me through, I have the courage to know within that this is wrong, that I'm not afraid of you, and whatever you can do to me doesn't change the fact that I know it's wrong. I don't deserve this. You aren't my master. No matter what you think or what you've done, or if you did create me, that does not mean you're my master. That does not mean this is acceptable. And no amount of torture or pain is going to change that fact. And perceptually, you know this as well. Perceptually, that's why you enslaved me in a fear-producing, torture-chambered body. To condition me to bend to you, to be afraid, to be fearful. Because if I'm in a state of non-reactivity, of disassociation from this conditioned, hypnotic human experience, you wield no power over me. Only the perception of that power. And when you realize that your imagination is actually limitless and boundless, and the only thing hindering that from happening is the conditioned, hypnotic falsities that were overlaid over your consciousness, over your perception, you can just imagine something else. I'm being tortured. Oh no, God, there's this God being who thinks he has all power. Oh, wait a second. Hold on a second. Let me just change my perception. Let me just change my perception real quick. I'm not a human. I'm not limited by the human experience anymore. All these conditioned beliefs and of fears and limits no longer apply to me. Oh, wow. You can have your little torture chamber over here. Here's a dummy. Go torture that. That's not me. It's hard to explain these things in a human English way. But just know that your body is an amplifier of fear. The belief enters your body, which you're in, and your body amplifies it. You're only fearful because of pain, because of loss, because of injury, because something is threatening your existence. Now, when nothing can produce those things, the only thing the only thing that's producing fear is the belief itself. And if you've been conditioned this whole entire life here with these false beliefs about who you are and what you're capable of, you're going to remain in that belief box once you're out of here. A lot of people say that once they're out of the body, they feel a serene sense of calmness and peace. Why is that? It's because the tortured vessel has been lifted off of them. But then what changes? Oh, they start seeing these pictures of beings and other things that come in really quick. They tell them what to think and believe, and they work on their beliefs and their traumas and their perception. They don't want you to linger too long and figure out who you actually are. They want to get you right then and there because you don't have time to deprogram and say and figure out, oh wow, I feel calm and serene. What's going on here? Let me just explore this. No. They want to get you as quickly as possible. They want to work on your beliefs, on your distorted perceptions of who you are. They want to act all big and powerful with this hierarchical system to get you to believe in it, because that's what they've been doing your whole existence. And fear is a big one. Yes, you can feel love. They can love bomb you, sure, but that is also a manipulation tactic. Now, your body also amplifies every other emotion while you're in it. It's a manipulation device. When you're out of the body, you may be able to still feel all these same things. But here's the kicker. Your perception can be dictated and changed by you immediately. Your belief is the only thing stopping you. Now, if you're working on this now and you realize this, once you get out of body, you don't have the body itself limiting that, dictating that, controlling that. It's your perception and your awareness. And what are you going to do with that? Your imagination can be set free. Why do you think it's not this way? Why do you think it's not this way? It's because in this life, it's not this way. In this life, they've conditioned us to believe this is the way it is. You can have no real power because there is no real power here. You can prove to yourself that you have real power by your own courageous integrity in the face of evil. Every single day that you're here, you will not bend, you will not bow, you will not succumb. No matter what they throw at you, no matter where they put you, they cannot take that away from you. That proves that they aren't all powerful. That proves that they don't control you. They can only control your perception. They can only control the simulated hellish, freakish nightmare that is this. These things are hard to put into words, but I know this. I know this because that thing within me, that imagination, that inner courage is alive. It's well and it's functioning on a daily basis. But how they override that is to get you to believe that you are this experience, that this experience dictates all of existence. No, it doesn't. This is a perverted, twisted, illusionary, inverted realm. And I know illusionary makes it feel like, oh, well, nothing matters here. And, oh, the pain's real. Yeah, it's very real. But what I'm saying is, it's like a hypnosis that's been put over you. It's an illusion that feels real. It's a perversion of your awareness. They want us to feel so weak and pathetic. And they've given us all of these emotions. And they've given us a body amplifier to make it seem more real. And it's real here. If your consciousness was just left alone to actually progress and grow like they claim they're trying to do, you would know all of this to be true. There were all of these things set in place to purposefully degrade, hinder that. Degrade and hinder that. And to get you to believe in this place. The one thing they don't want you to have is courage. Spiritual courage. That no matter what they think they are, what they can do, it doesn't change the fact that you know it's wrong. That you know there's a better way. That you know who and what they are. No matter how big and bad they want to present themselves, they're wrong. And they can't take over this thing, me. They won't. And while I'm in the body, it's going to be tortured. It's going to feel fear and pain and sadness and misery and all these things. But perceptually, I'm detaching from that, the pain body, the body of pain. And I'm viewing it from an awareness that isn't trapped in a human experience. And I can see how wrong it all is and how much potential we truly have once the limitations are lifted. So you have no free will in this life, and that conditions you to believe that you have no free will once you leave this life. Basically, everything has been conditioned and set up for you. This is a school to train you how to be a slave. And once you leave the school, you have to come back to do another grade, you get higher and higher in believing that you're a slave, basically. But by breaking the conditioning and realizing the trick that's been played on us all and the trap of this material realm, on every layer of it, it's been a setup from the very beginning to steal you and your power away from you. You didn't really have a say in where you were born, what happened to you as a child, all of these things. And this puts you into a victim mindset, not by your choice at all, but purposefully done to you. And for our whole lives, we carry that burden with us in our subconscious. Why is there a subconscious? A subconscious is where they put all of the programming and manipulations and the trauma of this life to control you and your perception of what you think reality is. You don't need a subconscious mind. A subconscious mind is the shackle on your perception. Some people think that the subconscious mind holds most of your awareness. I'm not here to argue for or against that. All I'm here to argue is having a subconscious mind in general, having a part of you that's cut off, yet controls and dictates to your conscious mind without its awareness what to do, think, believe, and act. No. Don't you see it's a form of enslavement? Now, this only happens. This only is necessary for conditioning, for your beliefs. A lot of times, thinking in these ways, a wave of gaslighting happens. Where is that coming from? That's coming from the subconscious mind. That's coming from the programs and conditioning of this life. That's not possible, says the conditioning of the subconscious mind. None of that's real. You've lived this entire life in this realm, and that's all you know. And everything that you've experienced is exactly the way that the schools and the news and the people and authorities have explained it to you. No, because once you're left alone in your imaginations, in your pure awareness of experiencing things in an altered state of consciousness, you quickly realize the severe limitations of everything about this realm. And the lies and the manipulation become so apparent. And you feel the bondage in every move and every breath that you take, because you aren't the body, and you aren't its limitations, and you aren't its chemical and hormone factories that it pumps you with, full of fear and anxiety and all of the happy thoughts and all of these things. These are just emotional, perceptual delusions to keep you in this limited lower state of consciousness. A higher awareness does not need fear. Fear can be interpreted as information. It doesn't have to be interpreted as this overpowering chemical and hormonal response to information. Discernment and the courage to act without any sort of coercion is what a higher intelligence would do. There's no reason to feel fear. There's no reason. But in a world like this, where everything is in a constant state of fear, it's necessary for this world to function. Now, this is not like, oh yeah, it's just get rid of fear, blah, blah. No, I'm saying that as long as you're in this world, fear is going to be present. You can override it, but a lot of times your body will not let you. It will forcibly make you comply to fear. Even in your consciousness, you know there's nothing to fear. Your body is doing what it was designed to do. To work against you. To work against your will. Your sovereign will. Because of the subconscious and the energy that's trapped inside the body. So, in a realm of pure imagination, the fear wouldn't be there. When you're in a dream and you're fearful, it's because of the belief of fear. But if you become lucid and realize it's just a dream, the fear goes away. You have sovereignty. You have agency now. You get to decide what you're going to do. You have discernment. Okay, what am I going to do with this information now? This fear information. Now strip it away. Boom. The body pumping is gone. And now you can think clearly, calmly. Discerning what to do with courage. There's no need for fear from a higher intelligence perspective. It's only a form of manipulation and control to bring you to that lower state of existence, to get you to react instead of willing what to do from a conscious state, not a de-evolved animal, lower life form. They say this thing gave us their mind. Okay, well, perhaps this is their state of existence. This is their perception. This is how they are. This is how they exist. And now they're projecting it to us. I'm not going to accept that. I'm not going to believe that everything in this world wants me to believe that I just got honked at. It's snapping me out of my my focus. But everything in this world wants you to feel delusional about this kind of stuff. But it's not. It's not. This is their mind. This is how they function. And that's why they need us. And they don't want us to recognize that truth. That all of these things are from its mind and its world and its creation. This has nothing to do with me. I'm breaking that hypnosis, that spell they've cast over me. And let's just say hypothetically that none of this is true. Well, to me it is, because you put me in front of the most powerful, evil person here. My body's going to react. It's going to be fearful. But my conscious perception knows exactly what they are, and there's nothing to fear, because fear is a hormonal and chemical reaction in the body that helps solidify the belief that I should bend down, succumb, and be afraid. No. Courage in the face of adversity. Even knowing this being can smite me down, I know internally it's still wrong and pathetic, and it only wields power with abuse. It only wields power through coercion. It only wields power through falsities and torture. What kind of intelligent being is this? This is a being that only holds power because it makes others small on purpose so that it can think of itself as bigger and badder, okay? Regardless of the situation, internally, it's not more powerful than me. Just externally, because of the conditions and the environment, and it purposefully gave itself God mode on a cheat mode in a game. That's weak. That's pathetic. I'm not fearful of that. It's the code and the programming that it installed into me, into my perception, into the body, that tries to force me to look at it and to bow and bend to it. Well, I just, it's hard to explain these things, but hopefully you can understand in your own way. And if you don't, or if you disagree, that's perfectly fine. It's just hard to explain these concepts in like words and human ways of understanding. But I try my best. Maybe sometime in the future I'll get a better way of explaining it. And also when I'm just thinking and processing and imagining these things, it's so much more clear. It's just when I put it into words and start talking, that's where it becomes a lot more murky and confusing.